It's time for another garden update, so let's get started. The popcorn's getting about as tall as a fence, and it's got tassels, and it's starting to produce ears. Got some silk showing there. And the glass gem corn is just about to catch up in height. The onions are just now starting to look better. There's a tomato in the grow bag. The eggplants are really starting to perk up now. And the peppers are starting to grow a little bit better too. We have the cucumber back there on a string trellis. And pole beans back on that trellis. Then I stuck the petunia in the ground here, and I cut the bottom out of that little basket. I don't know if that'll turn out worth anything or not, but we'll find out. Got the ground cherries there. There's the petunia in the water cooler. And the zinnias are really starting to bloom. And all of these came from one plant, the seeds did, so it's kind of interesting how you can produce that many colors from one plant. The carrots are really starting to take off. Still needing to thin those some more. Here's a couple of the straw bales. I stuck some sweet potato slips down at the bottom. We'll see what happens on those. I've been topping the eggplants in the straw bales so they won't get too tall. That's kind of a continuing process. I've topped the peppers a few times. I may have to top this one again. And I've been getting little tomatoes from these down here. And there are a few ready to pick right now, just about. The petunias are just now starting to feel their oats there. And the tomatoes are really looking good. I mean, they got some leaf roll. The plants don't look all that fantastic, but the tomatoes we have on are looking good, especially this first one. These are the grafted tomatoes, and we still have all of the additional grafts are growing and starting to produce blooms, and it's just a matter of time we'll get some tomatoes on from them. There's a trellis back there with cucumbers on it. The tomatillos are just going nuts as far as growth, but I haven't got a single tomatillo on them yet. Then we got some tomatoes back there with tomatoes on them. The onions in this row are starting to get a little bit of size. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. Then there's a random basil that came up volunteer. I need to top it. There's a petunia in the hollow log. It's really doing great. There's that little mini-me hollow log with the sedum in it. Tomato in the straw bale. It's got quite a few tomatoes on it. I finally had to, let me see if I can get a shot of some of those. I finally had to tie it up because it was starting to lean. So I gave it a little bit of support. Same with these eggplants. This one was so loaded with fruit it's starting to lean over, so I tied it to give it some support. And it's still got, even though we've harvested 10 eggplants off of these 2 eggplants in this bale, and as you can see, there's still quite a few more fruits coming on. This black pearl pepper. It's finally got some little peppers forming. More zinnias over here. More peppers. I've got some weeding to do over here. I've noticed that now that we're in the third year of the wood chips, more weeds are starting to show up. So I'm going to be adding some more wood chips soon. Then we have chocolate pear tomatoes in that cage. That's the cleft grafted plant, and it's doing well. Got the Mountain Magic back there. Another string trellis with cucumbers. Then the potatoes and the grow bags are really growing like crazy. And the sweet potatoes down here are just turning into a giant mass of vines. Let's look at the sunflowers real quick. We have one that's in bloom. That's a Velvet Queen. Then we have three of a different type over there. And we've got some okra at the end. I'm going to be adding more leaves down here to kind of suppress some of the weed growth. Then we have the banana tree, and it's really starting to gain size quicker now. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like next month. Swiss chard's doing well. Cotton's starting to do a little bit better, but for some reason that one's lagging behind. And the horseradish, you can't even tell it was chopped and dropped not long ago. All the herbs are doing fairly well down here, and the rhubarb. Starting to get some blackberries on this random blackberry plant that I have here. It's a Washita. It's got blackberries on it. But overall, everything's starting to do pretty well. And one thing I haven't shown that I'll show right now is that weed doesn't belong there, but this is one of the irises that I was thinking about naming, and this one is number 1, and it's going to be a mom. So I'm going to save the seeds from this pod and plant them this fall. In order to keep this video from being as long as the last one I did, I'll stop here. I just wanted to show you what the petunias in the tub look like. But if you're just now finding this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Otherwise, like, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.